The Frank Turk Award is given to an individual who has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to improving the quality of life in Will County. Since the founding of the Will County Center for Economic Development over 40 years ago, 10 individuals, including today's honoree, has received this award. Other past award winners that are joining us in the audience today include John Grueling and Jim Rolfe. I don't know where they are, but I'd ask them to stand and be recognized for their significant contributions to this organization. So this award is named after and given in honor of Frank Turk Jr., and I spoke at length about Frank last year. A lifelong Joliet resident and businessman, Frank was a co-founder of the Will County Center for Economic Development, and he was president from 1982 to 1984. A dear friend of mine, and I suppose a dear friend of many of you in this room, a long, long history. I'm honored to present this year's Frank Turk Business and Community Achievement Award to Edward J. Dollinger. Ed is a principal. Ed is a principal with Edward Jones Investment. Ed opened the very first Edward Jones office in Joliet in 1986, 37 years ago. And as I said to Ed earlier, there's barely enough room on the back page of the Herald News to fit all of the Jones people today. And today, Ed is ranked in the top 30 out of some 19,000 financial advisors at Edward Jones. He's made quite a career. Congratulations, Ed. Ed was an investor in the very first CED multi-year capital campaign in 1988, 35 years ago, and continues to invest today. He is just a great believer and a great person to be involved with the CED. Ed served as chairman of the board of the Will County Center for Economic Development in 2004, currently serves as a board member, executive committee member, and investor relations committee member. Ed grew up on a grain and livestock farm, not far from where we sit today, actually. Ed and I grew up down the street from each other, didn't know it at the time, but we did. And certainly got to know him really, really well in the mid-'80s. He's a proud alum of Joliet Catholic High School and the University of Illinois. When you look at Ed's resume, he has been or continues to be involved in leadership roles with over 17 charitable and community organizations over his career. As a result of that, he has received some 20 community awards for his dedication and leadership provided to these organizations. Ed and Gloria have been married for 37 years. They are the proud parents of really 3 great kids. I know them all. Their daughter Casey, who's with us this morning, and 2 sons, Matthew, who couldn't be here, and I don't think, is Nathan here? Nathan's not here either. Anyway, Matthew and Nathan. And next April, Ed and Gloria will become grandparents for the first time, as Casey and Scott are expecting. That, I'm not spilling the news, that's public information. So, when I think about Ed, and I think about Ed beyond his resume, as I've known Ed for almost 40 years now, and I promised that I would be nice, and I will be nice, because when I think of Ed, I think of someone who is really devoted to his faith, he's devoted to his family, he's devoted to his friends, and his commitment to the Will County and Joliet community. That is the Ed that I have come to know and respect all these years. So Ed, please come up. So for his personal commitment and generosity to the economic development of Will County, for improving the quality of life for all our residents, it is my deep privilege to present the Frank Turk Business and Community Achievement Award to Ed Dollinger.
Thank you, man. Wow, this is overwhelming. I think I should stop while I'm ahead. Bob, thank you. That was awesome. But no, it's truly amazing. And thank you, Bob, so much. When I was preparing some of my thoughts for this morning, I looked back in some of our old annual reports. And as Bob mentioned, I've been involved here a long time. And I have the original annual report, and Bob Filotto was in that with a lot more hair, dark. You looked like you were just out of college. Looked awesome, man. But I want to congratulate you and thank you. You're the longest serving active board member of the Will County CED. So thank you, Bob, for your many years of service. And most of all, thank you for your tremendous friendship. Well, I've been very fortunate to be involved with CED for so many years. It's been an amazing journey as I think back on it. But I am quite humbled and honored this morning to be recognized, considering all the previous recipients that Bob mentioned earlier who are here. Jim Rolfe, my very dear friend and a previous recipient. John Grueling, a dear friend. And before Doug was our president and CEO of CED for 21 years. Just working side by side, both of them and Bob have been tremendous over the years. And there's so many others. Brother James Gaffney, Bob Regina, to name a few others. But it's extra special to me because of who this award is named after, Frank Turk Jr. I know Bob talked a lot about Frank and talked a lot about him last year, but I met Frank Turk back in 1986. He was one of my first business leaders I went to introduce myself and meet early in my career. And I knew all about Turk Furniture growing up in the area and all that, and I knew some of his sons and all that we went to school together, but I never met Frank Turk Jr. So I wanted to go in and introduce myself. I gave him my story of what I'm doing, building my financial services business. And I asked him one simple question, and I said, Mr. Turk, at that time, Mr. Turk, who should I get to know in the area to be successful in my business? And without hesitation, he said, you should get to know Ruth Calvert. She's the president and CEO of CED. Well, I didn't know what CED was or anything like that. So he walks me down Chicago Street to the CED offices and introduces me to Ruth. And then soon thereafter, Ruth introduces me to Russ Slinkard, who was the chairman of the board of the CED at the time. And between both of them, they got me involved in the first capital campaign, helping them raise $3 million. So anyway, and the rest is history. I've been involved ever since. But it has been a great journey. Frank and I became very good friends, though, because he was very involved with the CED and many other community boards we served on. So we worked side by side together an awful lot. And yes, he was a very good salesman. He sold Gloria and I our first dining room set, our first kitchen table and chairs and all that. So he was a great salesman, did his job. But more importantly, Frank taught me a lot about what it is to be a community leader and giving back to the community. And two phrases he would say, he says, you have a choice in life, Ed. You can either watch things go by or you can make things happen. You can either watch it happen or make things happen. And secondly, he would always say, you can get a lot done when you don't care who gets the credit. You can get a lot done when you don't care who gets the credit. And that's what I think about when I think about the CED. It's business leaders from the private, public sectors and elected officials, men and women who are the stakeholders, the risk takers, the visionaries, the facilitators for change, all with one common purpose. And that is to help make Will County a better place to live and work. And that's what's so exciting about CED, making things happen behind the scenes, pulling all the different groups together. You know, when I started my business in the early 80s, mid 80s, a lot of my friends said, Ed, you know, we went away to college to get out of Joliet, get out of Will County and build our careers. And I said, well, I did my market research and I said, it looks pretty good to start a financial services firm here. Well, today we have over 45 financial advisors serving clients in Will County. We oversee, you know, over $4 billion in assets now of clients' hard-earned money in Will County area. So my friends aren't really asking anymore, why did you go back to Joliet and Will County? They know what's happening here, so it's pretty exciting. But when people ask what organizations has had the greatest impact in my career and my business, I right away mention the CED. But like with anything in life, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So my challenge to all of you, be more like Frank Turk. Help mentor our younger business people and leaders. Show them how and why to be involved in the community and give back. Remind them it's not what you get in life, it's what you give in life. So in closing, I just want to thank a few groups of people here. First of all, our current board, they were acknowledged before, but it's a privilege and honor to serve with you. Thank you for your friendship and your willingness to serve and give back to the greater Will County area. And then also the group that's been recognized a little bit, but our staff at CED, led by Doug Pryor, your entire team. You guys are awesome. You are small in number, but you get a ton of work done for our community of Will County. So thank you for all you do and your leadership, Doug. And lastly, and by no means least, my family and Edward Jones team here. First of all, my wife, Gloria, who's been my partner in life for 37 plus years now. Gloria, thank you for all your support. And my daughter, as Bob already mentioned, my daughter and son-in-law, Scott. Scott, of course, is in business with me also, but we're thrilled that we're soon to be grandparents. So congratulations. My son, Matt, is also with me in my business now, but he's at a meeting in St. Louis, could not be here. John Waldron is here with John Green Real Estate, but he's married to my niece, Teresa, who's an estate planning attorney here in Will County. So I wanted to make sure John was here with us. And then my other many Edward Jones advisor friends and partners here who support me all the time, John Gilman, Sam Williams, Paul Califat, and Nate Albert. Incidentally, Nate is an alderman here in Crest Hill. So thanks for all you do for Crest Hill, Nate. So thank you for this recognition. It's been an amazing journey. And I'm just so proud to be part of such a great organization. Thank you.